Hi all, this is Vijay Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Vivekananda College of Engineering Technology, Puttur. So, previous session we have studied various aspects of mechanical safety. What are the things to be followed in order to take care of the operating the heavy machines, and what are the safety rules and regulations should be followed in the mechanical industries, and what are the safety guards to be followed while designing the heavy machines, and which are the training skills to be given to the operator. And all these things we have studied, and we have studied what are the safety measures to be followed during various mechanical operations like drilling, lathe machine operations, grinding machine operations, shaping machine operations, milling machine operations, band saws, and while carrying out the forging, and what are the safety to be followed. So these aspects we have studied, and coming to the module 4, this is electrical safety. What is the safety related to the electrical equipments, electrical circuits, and with respect to operating high voltage power supplies. So what are the safety to be followed? We are going to study in this module. Let us see one by one. Why the electricity is very important? The electricity is the second leading cause of death in construction. So in day-to-day life, electricity is very important thing in order to operate the electrical appliances, machines in industries, in home appliances, or in any public places. Electricity plays a very important role. If you take any component that is electrically connected, so that's why electricity is very important. And this is the second cause of death in a construction. That means in a construction sites, whenever there is a high power lines are used, if the wires are not earthed properly, if they are randomly placed here and there without any safety design, so at that time that will cause the death. So that's why this is the second cause for the death in a construction. uh, Electrocutions make a 12% of construction fatalities annually. That means electrocutions, the any accidents related to the electricity, that is nothing but electrocutions. So that contributes 12% of fatalities annually, and over 30,000 non-fatal shocks occur a year. That means 30,000 minor shocks that will lead to some organ damages, that may lead to some leg damages, hand damages, and some of the body parts are affected due to the electrical shocks. And due to this one, so over there is a 30,000 non-fatal cases are reporting every year, and over 600 deaths. That means whenever safety protective equipments are not there while working with the electrical appliances, while holding the high power lines, due to this one there will be death occurs. And you can see the linemen who are working on poles, light poles and all. So due to the miscommunication, or due to not using personal protective equipments, or not using safety tools, due to that one, due to the shocks, heavy shocks, the death will occur. So that is around 600 deaths per year due to the electrical shocks. See, what are the electrical accidents and leading causes of electrical accidents? Usually, if you take a mechanical machines, drilling and cutting through the cables, and using defective tools, cables, and equipment. See, if you take a iron box, if you are ironing any cloth, that iron cable is not insulated properly. Due to that one, there may be a chance of getting the shocks. So, like this, while operating the drilling and cutting through the cables, that means while you are going to drill any wall, or if you want to drill any component through the wall, if you are going to drill any hole, if there are any cables are there, electrical cables are there, so at that time you are going to get the electrical shocks. And defective tools, using defective tools, using the cables and equipment which is not insulated properly, and if it is not earthed properly, at that time that will lead to the electrical accident. Failure to maintain the clearance distance of 10 feet. That means whenever you are going to operate on any electrical appliance, that means you should maintain a proper distance, and you should wear a proper rubber slippers, and you should wear personal protective equipment, you should wear gloves, and you should have safety tools like testers, and testing the electrical power supply, and while operating on a heavy electrical appliances we should switch off the main switch. So all these safety mm, safety rules and regulations you have to follow while working on a electrical appliances. Failure to de-energize circuit and follow the lockout and tagout procedure. That means you have to de-energize the circuits before operating on any electrical machine, and you have to follow the lockout and tagout procedures in order to avoid the electrical accidents. Failure to guard live parts from accidental worker contact. That means live parts which are there, which are under the power supply, so you have to guard them. So if you are not guarding them, that will lead to the electrical accident to the worker who is working on it. Unqualified employees working with the electricity. That means if the worker is not qualified properly, if he is not skilled properly or trained properly, so that will lead to the electrical accident. Again, improper installation, use of temporary electrical systems or equipment. You have to install the electrical appliance or electrical equipment properly with safety rules and regulations that are imposed by the electrical departments. Bypassing electrical protective devices. That means electrical protective devices are there, like MCB breakers are due to the high voltage power supplies. So in order to avoid destruction or any breakage to the electrical appliance, we're going to use the circuit breakers. So you have to use the electrical protective devices. If you bypass them, that will lead to the electrical accident. And not using a GFCI, that means ground fault circuit interrupters. If any ground circuit is not there, if any misfunction or a malfunction in the electrical power supply is there, at that time GFCI plays a very important role. That will immediately switch off the switch, that will trip, and that will cut the power supply to the electrical appliances, so that there will not be any harm to the devices or electrical machines. So GFCI plays a very important role. And missing ground branches or extension cords. Whenever you are going to use the extension cords, so if it is not earthed properly or grounded properly, that will lead to the heavy electrical accident, and that will harm the electrical appliances. What are the basic hazards that are caused by the electricity? One is you are going to get the shocks, most common, and can cause a electrocution or a muscle contraction leading to the secondary injury, which includes falls. So if the person is not protected properly through the gloves or personal protective equipments, and if he is standing on any metal chairs, so due to that one he is going to get the shocks, that may lead to secondary injury, muscle contraction, or that person will fall from the higher heights due to the electrical shocks. And that is also depends upon the limit. If a limit exceeds, that will lead to the death of a person. And due to the electricity shocks, so enough heat or sparks are produced that can ignite the combustible materials around the working environment. Sometimes that will lead to the electrical sparks, and that will lead to the explosions. And the arc splash due in welding and all, we can see that can cause the burning ranging from 14,000 degrees Celsius to 35,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And arc blast in melting the metals in mechanical industry. In a casting section, we can see there is a induction molten metal devices will be there. That means that melting metals are in induction furnaces. In induction furnaces, there will be high power supplies will be there in order to get heated the heater coils. So that may lead to the expansion, arc blast, that will cause the arc blast, and which is of a higher range, that can cause heavy accidents. And fundamentals of electricity. What is the fundamentals of electricity? And resistance. One is the important parameter that is governing the electricity is resistance, and one is voltage. And electricity will pass through the metallic substances, and it will pass through the water. And if any water is there in our working sites and all, we have to avoid the humid conditions or watery conditions in a working sites. Usually in a civil construction sites, we have to avoid the water. whenever there is a water or the wire should be insulated properly and they are of certain heights not to avoid the contact with the water, and suitable personal protective equipment should be given to the operators. All these safety rules to be followed. And basically the electricity or electric wire, so that is consisting of a conductor. The conductor is a material which allows the electrons to uh, pass through it or flow through it. And again the wire is made up of a insulator. Insulator means the surrounding material that is surrounding the conductor. Insulator is a resistor. It is acting as a resistor to the flow of electrons. That means whenever there is a flow through the conductor, that is safeguarding the that power supply. That means whenever you are going to touch the wires and all, you will not feel the electricity. That means the insulator is acting as a safeguard. It is going to resist the flow of electrons. And resistance is a very important parameter in electricity. And resistance material which opposes the electron flow. So in order to get the high power or low power, resistance is going to act as a resistance to the flow of electrons. If you take a AC motor circuit or a DC motor circuit, there will be two types of current. That means one is alternative current and direct current. Usually what you are going to use in homes or in industries or high power operated devices are there, mechanical equipments are there, electrical equipments are there, they are going to use the AC power supply. And whatever the small equipments you are going to use, that means the wall clock power shell or calculator shell or any your smartphone battery, so all these are DC powered. That means DC power is going to operate in these devices. And whatever your laptop charger is there, that is operated by a DC motor. And your laptop power bank or a laptop battery, all these are DC powered. In order to convert AC to DC, there will be conversion devices are there that will convert the AC power supply into DC power supply, and again that be DC power supply will give on to the electrical appliances. And usually the AC current has five parts. That means one is in the figure you can see there will be electrical source, and there is a hard wire to the tool, and the tool itself, that means third one is a tool which is going to conduct the electricity. And the neutral wires returns electricity from the tool. And there is a ground, that means earthing. In order to avoid the electrical shocks and all, there should be earthing. One will be tool itself, that means one will be conductor element will be there, one will be neutral acting as a neutral electrical unit, and one will be ground unit. Usually how shock will occur? The current travels in a closed circuits through the conductor. That means I told water, metal or a human body, human skin is acting as a conductor. A shock occurs when the body becomes a part of the circuit. That means whenever you are going to operate on an electrical appliance, if you are standing on a metal chair or a metal table or a metal stand, and at that time your body becomes a part of the conductor. That means your skin, your blood is acting as a part of the conductor. And so at that time shocks will occur. The current enters at one point and leaves at another point. So if the power supply is of a high power, that may lead to the secondary injuries or a permanent death to the worker. If power supply is of a lower one, that will cause us the minor shocks. Shocks occurs in three ways. That means if you look at the figure, you can observe contact with the both conductors. If the person is contact with the both conductors, and second case contact with one conductor and a ground. And another one is with the tool. With the tool, that means contact with hot metal and ground. So these are the three cases where the electrical shock is going to occur. Severity of the shock. So severity depends upon the amount of current flowing in a conductor or a electrical power line, and determined by the voltage and resistance to the flow and pass through the body, and on which parts it has passed, and duration of flow through the body, and other factors as a general health and individual differences. So usually if the high power line is there, so that will cause us the high injuries, and if any low power is there or a low voltage power supply is there at that time, so smaller or lighter shocks will occur. And so this figure indicates if sweats and he dies, that means if the person is operating and pushing the drill, and due to that one, if the in his sweat or if his body is coming contact with the electrical power line, so he becomes a part of the electric power supply conductor line, and he will get the electrical shocks and he will die. And that's why while operating the electrical appliances, the person who is going to operate it, he should be very careful in order to avoid the electrical accidents. So usually there are some power supplies, that means that indicates how much the severity of the shock is there. If more than 3 milliamps is there, you will get a painful shock. If it is 10 milliamps, muscle contraction will occur. If it is 20 milliamps, considered as a severe shock. 30 milliamps will causes the lung paralysis, usually the temporary, then that can heal afterwards after suitable treatments. And if it exceeds the 50 milliamps, possible ventricular fibrillations will occur, and that may lead to the death. And 100 milliamps to 4 amps, that means ventricular fibrillations, it is a fatal one, that will lead to the death. And over 4 amps, heart paralysis or a severe burns will occur to the person. So electricity supply, that means it is nothing but voltage equal to current resistance V equal to I into R. That means dry skin. Usually, if the person is having a dry skin, that means 1.2 milliamps flowing through the body to the ground. That means it is a safe range where the electricity will not cause that much of injuries to the person, and that can be withstood by the person. And if the person is having a wet skin, and 120 milliamps flowing through the body, you can observe this difference. A dry skin person can conduct 1.2 milliamps. If the wet skin person is having 120 milliamps power to supply the electricity. And effect of current flow, you can see the person who lost his hand, all the fingers are burnt, and skin weared out, and there is a muscle contraction occur to the human hand. So this is the severity of electrical current flow. That's why it is very important to safeguard the legs and hands while working with the electrical appliances. The person should wear personal protective equipments, and he should wear the hand gloves, and he should have um, rubber shoes, and he should use the wooden tables, wooden chairs, wooden ladders in order to apply on the electrical appliances. And that wooden ladders or a wooden stand or a wooden chair should be wet proof. That means it should be dried properly before going to use it. In the next session, we can see how to control the electrical hazards. Thank you. Have a good day.